Today we're going to be checking out Edencrest in Escondido. We're actually going to be going a full vlog, being able to kind of see the schools around the area and then also see what you get with Edencrest. Keep in mind that Escondido is a very large city, but Edencrest in itself is kind of like on the outskirts right before you get to Valley Center. So we're going to take a look and we're going to do it right now. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Juliana Show.
What's up, amazing people? I'm Liz LaFour here with the Mortgage List team located out of Escondido, California. And if this is the first time to my channel and you're looking to learn everything you gotta know about what it's like to eat, live, sleep, and play here in San Diego, and today it's all about Escondido and Edencrest, then you definitely wanna click that subscribe button, tap that little bell so you're reminded every single time that we release a new video. Because honestly, we're doing it every single week. And hey, every single day I'm getting phone calls with people just like you, thinking about making that move to somewhere in San Diego or Escondido, thinking about maybe this is the place for you. And if you're thinking about making that move, you definitely need to reach out to us. Give us a call, send us a text or an email, whatever is easiest for you. We definitely got your back when moving to Escondido or San Diego. Now, we're gonna take a look at Edencrest in Escondido, and we're gonna see some of the other details that you really wanna know if you're thinking about making this move. So first off, right now in Francis Ryan Park, this is actually where they end up doing all of the soccer that comes along here in Escondido. It is a massive park and you're able to literally have soccer all year long. And so if you do love soccer, this is gonna be the place to go. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at a little bit more of kind of like the full vlog aspect of Edencrest. So in Edencrest, they're actually gonna be doing 8 full phases and then the build out. From what I can see though, that they're still pretty much in like phase 2. Edencrest has actually been being worked on for quite some time. It's actually located on the corner of Norte Pkwy, right down the street from Orange Glen Elementary. You may end up looking at the choice of school where you can actually pick because of the rating of the school, where you can actually decide that you do not end up wanting to go to or send your kids to Glenview. In this case right now, Glenview is actually rated about a 2 or a 3. So to spend $150 on an HOA and to spend a middle, $700, now middle $800,000, it maybe end up being something a little bit maybe not something that you want to do, to be quite honest. But looking at Edencrest, there is some perks that you may want to end up checking out. First of all, there is 8 different phases when it comes to Edencrest. And so within the 8 different phases, they're actually gonna be building up for quite some time. Obviously, in general, new construction is gonna end up finding that you're going to have kind of depending on when you're going to want to buy your home, it may end up giving you a bit of time to sell the current home. Keep in mind that obviously if you are thinking about selling your current home and then buying another one, you either want to make sure that you have a program that's going to work for you, so that way you can either qualify with the both programs, qualify with both of the houses, so that way you can get your new house and then go back and sell the one that you currently have. Or if you're thinking about selling the current one while you're actually waiting for the one to build, that's most likely probably the way that you're going to end up doing it. Some of the things that we're passing off here as we're walking through is the sales office, and then all of the homes that, as we go, that they're going to be looking all beautiful and pretty and with every single upgrade known to man. So one thing to really keep in mind is that when you walk in through these new builds and through what they've got here to show you, you got to keep in mind that what you see is not what you get. One other thing that you want to keep in mind is that these homes are located obviously in the Edencrest community. This is actually right off of Lincoln, and based off of Lincoln and El Norte, you're going to end up being on a really busy road. And so you want to be very aware of that depending on where you're actually going to be located in the Edencrest community. So if you're like in the beginning, phase 1, phase 2, you're going to be right off El Norte and Lincoln, which will end up resulting that you end up with a little bit more traffic. So if you're new to if you're new to Escondido, you want to make sure that you know how much or how little traffic you want to take in. Edencrest in general, you're going to end up also finding out that it is nowhere close to a freeway. So don't think that you're going to buy this new build and you're going to get to the freeway in 5 minutes, because that is not going to happen. You're going to be looking at these new builds that are going to be located kind of all the way literally on the corner of El Norte and then Lincoln, but that's actually going to be like right on the cusp of going to Valley Center, which means that just to get to the freeway from here, it's going to take you a good 15 to 20 minutes just to get to the 15 South or 15 North or the 78 freeway. So you want to make sure that you account for that. If you're planning on moving here and you're looking at like areas such as Edencrest of Escondido, and then you're thinking about, well, I'm going to be working in Mira Mesa or working in Oceanside, I can assure you, you're probably not going to want that drive. Okay, so as we're taking a look over here, I want to be able to show you kind of like where these homes are located, as well as being able to show you kind of like the streets that come along with this. Okay, so here we are. This is actually located, like I said, on El Norte and then Lincoln. So El Norte is actually the street that's coming this way. That street will actually take you all the way down that way, which will actually take you to the 78 freeway. And then right where we're at over here, when it comes to El Norte and Lincoln, as you can hear, there is some noise. While I even have like my audio working here, there is a lot of noise that comes off of this road that you're going to end up dealing with when it comes to these homes that you're buying in as well. One other thing that to keep in mind is that there is a big land over there. There's nothing that's going to be built right there, but the homes that are up there are actually Chaparral Ridge, however you want to say it. I always mess that word up. And those homes are actually not brand new. Those homes are actually have been built for quite some time. If I remember correctly, I want to say they were like 2007, 2008, maybe even 2009 homes. But they are definitely not brand new, but they are definitely better priced than the current homes that we're looking at in Edencrest. Totally just want to be very realistic when it comes to the homes that are located in this area, wanting to give you really the full information as to what to expect. Okay, so a good perk that you want to be aware of is, hey, look at this. You have all of your mailboxes that are actually right at the entrance of Edencrest. So that's actually probably a good perk, because when it comes to, like, let's say what we were comparing Edencrest to, which was Eureka Springs, they're actually located in multiple different areas, the actual mailboxes. So that's actually a perk that I think that it was actually a good idea, mainly because you don't have to be going around in multiple areas to be able to get your mail. Okay, so what is it going to take to get you into Edencrest? So right now, Edencrest in general is actually requesting that you have a 3% deposit. So what does a 3% deposit mean? Well, that means that you actually end up putting 3% of the sales price. So let's say that you're into buying a home at $800,000. Remember what I said, these homes are not $800,000. They start at the middle $800,000. But we're just gonna go round numbers. So $800,000, then you go 3% of that, that's gonna be $24,000. And let's not assume that you end up wanting to actually add some additional improvements to the home, maybe some better stove, electrical, some better floors, things like that. That's going to be more money. So you're going to end up having a larger deposit past the 3%, past the $24,000. You're going to end up finding that depending on that additional amenity that you're looking for, you're going to end up putting even more deposits. So one of the things that to keep in mind is that about 50% is what they're asking for. However, if you're looking at like electrical stuff, they want 75% of that money that you're actually putting into the property in an additional deposit. So it's just all food for thought that you got to be able to be thinking about, because if you're planning on selling your house right now, buying this one, that means that you got to put that deposit down for $24,000. Let's say that you're thinking about also doing some additional upgrades. And upgrades are going to be pretty crazy when it comes to new construction, because upgrades, you know that what you put into the house is not actually what you get on like physical value. So let's say that you put in about $50,000 of additional upgrades. Well, 50% of that is an additional $25,000 plus the $24,000 for your deposit. So it's all food for thought. But then if it was electrical, then you're not looking at the $25,000. You're looking at closer to about $35,000 to $40,000 when it comes to those deposits. So it's a lot of information that you really got to know when it comes to, do you want to live here? Do you not want to live here? Also keep in mind that where it's located is really, really important, because if your drive, depending on where you're going to work, may or may not work for you. So you want to make sure that you're fully aware as to where it's located. So before you actually put down your $24,000 deposit, make sure that you drive down here, drive to your work a couple times, and are you really wanting to do the actual additional drive, and then also the past the drive, but the traffic that comes along with coming from this side of Escondido to the 15 or to the 78, depending on where you're actually going to work. Okay, so here's some facts that you got to know about when it comes to Edencrest. So first off, the HOA is a little bit higher. I actually went back and looked it up. Like I was talking about Eureka Springs is about $150. Edencrest is actually $169 at full build out. Keep in mind that right now we're not at full build out, okay? So you're looking at like phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 is being completed. Phase 2 looks like it's actually being done and worked on right now. So when it is at full build out, you'd be at $169. Also keep in mind that we were talking about when it comes to additional taxes, the additional taxes are going to be about $900 to $1,200 per year based on the bigger or the square footage of your house. So the bigger your house, the more expensive that you're going to end up finding that this actual additional taxes is going to be. Overall, the actual taxes that you're going to end up finding are going to be, in general, just a little bit less expensive. Overall, you're going to find that the county taxes for San Diego County are going to be about 1.25%. When it comes to like the taxes overall, here it looks like they're going to be actually just a little bit lower at 1.15%. So the taxes are a little bit less expensive when it comes to Edencrest overall on the San Diego taxes. Not necessarily just the San Diego taxes, because keep in mind that you still got to pay that additional assessment, the Melrose tax. So it's really important that you are familiar with all of the monthly payment that's going to come along with your actual PITI, so your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, total monthly payments. Okay, so here we are exiting Edencrest Community. You're going to end up finding that the homes, like I said, are right on this end of the street when it comes to El Norte and Lincoln. Then you're also going to end up finding that these are the original new builds that were just built for you to be able to see. So the fully staged homes that you're going to end up seeing. Then you're going to end up seeing right over here, you're going to end up finding the homes that are the kind of the older ones that you're going to anticipate. Okay, so I'm not trying to be all negative, but look, it's really important that to be aware of what you're buying. So when it comes to Escondido in general, Escondido is a really large city. A couple facts that you want to be aware of. Escondido literally holds over 3 million people in our community. And it is a pretty large city in comparing to the neighboring cities such as like San Marcos, Valley Center, Rancho Bernardo. Not technically a city, is more like the community name of it. You want to be aware of when it comes to like Escondido being such a large city. And because it is such a large city, you have a lot of variation when it comes to prices, a lot of variation when it comes to homes. I mean, the homes that are located on the other side of this street on El Norte and Lincoln are definitely not the same as to what we're looking at right now. And so you're going to end up seeing that some of those those homes are actually closer to like the Glenview, Orange Glen area. And then you'll also find that those homes are a bit older. So kind of like in the 1990s, 2000s, 78s, kind of like over there. So because of that, you're going to end up finding that those homes do not have as high of a value that they do here in Edencrest, which are right across the street. All right, so we've been talking a whole bunch about Edencrest Community and everything pros and cons about the community, with the full vlog showing you also those neighboring parks and then also the schools that come along with this area as well. So it's really important to be aware of kind of the ratings of the schools, also to be aware of where it's actually located, and then also if you have kids, also depending on how close you want to be to the park. There is actually another park, but it's actually kind of on the other side, and honestly, I wouldn't go there. There's also another school on the other side of the city, on the other side of this community, but it's so far that you actually wouldn't end up there either. But with that being said, you just want to kind of be aware of the surroundings when it comes to Edencrest. So you're thinking about making this move, thinking about possibly moving to Escondido, possibly moving to San Diego, you definitely got to reach out to us. Give us a call, send us a text or an email, whatever is easiest for you. We got your back when moving to San Diego or Escondido. And don't forget, on this channel, we release videos every single week talking about what it's like to eat, live, sleep, and play all here in San Diego. So you definitely want to click the subscribe button, tap the little bell to be reminded every single time we release a new video, because we do it every single week. And that's more noise that you got to get used to when it comes to this community, because it's kind of building really slow. So from what it looks like, the full build out will not happen until 2022. So you definitely got to be aware of that as well. And then also the extra noise that comes along with the other side of the street. All right, so until next time, we'll see you later.